Good evening. It's 7 o'clock. It's on Monday night, although part of me goes Wednesday at the moment, but that's not true. It's Monday. And I'm here with Mental Mind Treatment. And glad to be here, actually. It's been a long day. I had to go in and have one of my infusions today, which is probably the last one I'll be getting, which is kind of nice. So just to bring you up to date if you're interested. The One of the side effects of the immunology I've been working with for 19 months, 20 months now, is skin itching, irritation. And mine has gotten really, really annoying. Plus, because they don't like my arthritis medication, my hands, my knees in particular, are really bad. I can hardly use them, especially in the mornings when I wake up. So movement is really hard. And I started to really complain about it. Like, how long is this going on? So the doctor and I had a little bit of I guess it's not a major confrontation, but a little bit on when I was seeing him on Friday. So with the result that this treatment today was going to be the last one until I have a big scan in January. Then they'll relook at that, and that possibly is it. So I can get back to a normal lifestyle where I'm not either itching and I can't walk very well and my hands are sore and all that kind of thing. So that's not so much as griping. I just wanted to bring people up to date. Why, if my energy has felt a little off the last few weeks, that's mainly what's been going on. Otherwise, I've been I'm still getting things done. Housework's been a bit difficult the last week, but a lot of it's to do with the weather too. But I lived for years and years with this arthritis, and with what on the medications I was on, absolutely very, very little problem at all. Never really. And then bang, you get hit with it all again. Anyway, I'm here, Mental Mind Treatments. I was thinking today, and I was looking at some cards, like what's today going to be about? And I got the symbol of the Four of Cups. And the one thing that came to me as I was looking at that, which is really important for me actually right now too, is be open to newness. Miracles are offered every day. We just need to accept them. And very often what happens, something comes in, and because it's not the norm or it doesn't fit in what you actually think or believe, it's discarded. And so when I turned that up, I thought, oh, well, that's a good place to start off with today. So Marion says, good evening, everyone. Blessings to all. And I'm sure you can read that. I just wondered if Marion, she said she'd phoned me earlier, but I was half asleep. So anyway, thank you, Marion. She has no idea, which means she doesn't really need one because everything is cool. So Karen B., thank you so much for your email comments as well. I really, really appreciate them. She says, hello to everyone, sending good wishes to all. Great. And just a little bit low, like she asked for something, but I'll come back to her. Karen Merkus, who has been such a long time supporter from the beginning of the show in particular. Greetings, Norma. I would love a treatment for what you see fit for 8, 10, and 14. Many thanks. Okay, let's have a look at 8, 10, and 14 and see what we're needing to do. 8 means that there is an issue and you have the strength to handle it. 10 talks about change, but that you need to be like the hub of the wheel amongst the change. Like you're not on the wheel where it's spinning you, but rather you're strong as you're moving forward. And 14 is about balance. So we've got strength from above, changes, and needing to be balanced. So let's see where we get that and how this comes into the treatment time. I know there's one power, excuse me, and one essence. And I know as I speak my word for Karen, that no matter what she is confronted with, whether it is something she chooses or not chooses, that she has the strength within herself to understand it and deal with it and work with it. I also know the importance of being very strong within yourself, no matter what is happening around you. So, in a sense of the number 10, you're not getting on the wheel, but you are the center of the wheel and it goes around you. The key is not to get caught up with what's happening and what's going on, because one needs to be like the 14, balanced. Yes, showing again, new journey, new awarenesses coming in, new, I just want to say product for some reason, moving in a new product way, what you're producing or what you're doing or what you're creating. Definite change. But the strength to me is important here, because we need to know we can handle whatever comes up. Sometimes as we have to handle isn't easy, but that's what that does, is strengthen us to be sure and clear and aware of who we are, where we're going, and what we're doing. But there is change here, and you're needing to be like that hub of the wheel. Think of a wheel of life that's all around you, but you have to be the hub. So that sense of you is going out in every direction of your life to create this wonderful balance. And the energy that there, it says, allow yourself to be the balanced person that you really are. Allow yourself to move forward. I feel a fear of the movement forward, because it's not totally under your hand. It's not you like creating it. It's happening. And so that's one of the elements of letting go, is to know that whatever comes up, you can handle and deal with and work with according to your inner understanding of being. And I give thanks for that. I give thanks in knowing that you have everything well in hand. And as you move forward, and it's like I'm just sort of close my eyes for a moment, and I had this beautiful ray of light come down on top of you, is to say, do not worry. It's all taken care of. Just move forward. And that was not a message for me that, well, it could be taken as that, but it's definitely a message for you. I give thanks in that as we release this and let that go. But I will jump in on that one. That is a beautiful, beautiful ray of light. And the message was clear. Yeah, very nice. Okay, Karen B. Just a minute. I'm suffering a bit from dry mouth, and I'm having to have a lot of water. That's because of the painkillers I'm taking here. Okay, got that one. Karen Bounty says, good evening, Norma. May I please have a mental mind treatment for numbers 6, 15, and 19? Okay. No. Okay, we've got 2 emotional symbols here. I don't know how much you know at the tarot yet, but number 6, the Lovers, is the first symbol of our 22 higher arcana cards that we look at. That is the emotional one, is the first emotional one. But it also says that, there is an angel above, there's 2 people in front, and there's a matter of having a symmetry. Now, that's a 6. Number 15 is also a 6, but it is, I think, the third highest 6, and it's the Devil card, which all it means is that the emotion's out of control, and the emotions need to be in control in order to be the 19, which is the Sun, which is the beginning of the new. My sense here is that you're tying up a lot of old, it's like a lot of old stuff, a lot of old emotion, a lot of old reaction, a lot of old fears are coming up because you're changing. Now, it's very interesting. If we look at the inner parts of ourselves, when we begin to change, those parts of us that are tied into that old way of thinking where we made the decisions and we live that way, they get frightened because they don't know about light. They don't know about universal love. They don't know that it's all okay. So they get frightened, and in getting frightened, they put out fear and anxiety and an uncertainty. Excuse me, an uncertainty of where you're heading and where you're going. But the 19 of the sun says you are ready to emerge from the old. You are ready to leave behind those fears and anxieties and maybe not feeling really good about who exactly you are and all that you've got. There's tremendous transition here. It's like, have you ever seen that ad where they unzip a self and they sort of put it away and they step out brand new? I think it's an ad I saw it in. I cracked up because that's what we do. It's like they call it being reborn again, but it's like letting go of the old programming. We're not always aware of the old programming. I still run into some of my old programming from my childhood every now and again. It's like, oh, what are you doing here? It's still hanging around, waiting for some place to grab itself and hold on. So it's like when we work to become the most we can be, and life can throw us all sorts of things, which I've had in the last couple of years, like never dreamt of, thought I would have. I was cruising in my world. But anyway, so was everybody, and Mr. COVID arrived. And Mr. COVID changed many, many things. But for Karen B, what we see here is a letting go of old programming. We believe things. When we believe something, when someone says something to you and you believe it, it will come into a personal program. Some things might be really great to believe, like what I got today with the Four of Cups. Be open to newness. Miracles are offered every day. We just need to accept them. How many things do we reject? Someone says something and we just reject it because it doesn't fit into the box that we think is. And I think what you're ready is to leave the box behind. Will it be everything? Who knows? But a lot of the things you're going to have, it's like renewal. You know how we renew our subscriptions or we renew something? It's like renewing yourself into new awareness, into a new persona, and accepting a different way of being where light, love, acceptance happens. It doesn't mean that you're not going to run into things or have things, but it's how you will handle them will be so much different. That's the key. You will be in command. You will be aware. Oh, that's an emotion I don't need. Let's put it over there. And then you can examine it at some time or other and figure out where it's from or where it's not. That's a lot of the work that we do. I also do for people to have them so we clear so they understand. So Miss Karen B, I think you're on your way, but there's still a little bit of letting go of the old and moving forward in the direction that you want to go in. So I give thanks in the clarity, and I give thanks in knowing that the light is there for you. And so as this treatment weaves within my conversation, it's guiding like a light. It's in knowing that you are absolutely A-OK no matter what you may think the evidence is. The evidence has nothing to do with your heart of being. You are a light upon the world. So light your light up and just be that, because that will lead you to where you need to be always. And I give thanks as I release this, knowing that is true and it is done, that Karen B is moving into the light. And so it is. Okay. And Karen Lee. Hi, Norma. We'll send you some healing energy this week. Great. Yeah, just take the itching away. I would love a treatment for Zachary, please, for continued well-being. And he's got 1, 15, and 3. Actually, I feel so much better today, knowing that was my last treatment today, actually. 1, 15, and 3, Zachary. Let's take a look at these numbers. Number 1 says everything is possible, but we've got number 15 showing up again, showing that we've got our inner worry, concern, anxiety, fear gripping us. And the choice is, do we go with that, or do we go with the love that is there, the love vibration, because that's there also? Reminds me of someone looking at life out of a window. And the window has, it's kind of an old window and it has the wood. And so it has about it. We'll say it has 4 panes. I felt like 8, but that's okay. It doesn't really matter. And we have the possibility, because of the 1, to look at every one of those every one of those windows. And every one of those windows shows a different aspect of ourselves. It shows a different future. It shows our possibility. And it also shows us not taking the possibilities. But what each heart desires is to know they're loved for who they are. And what each being strives for is to know, no matter what, they are loved, they are cared for, and they are enough. And so I'm going to do a treatment of releasing fear and anxiety and embracing possibility and love. I know there is one power and there is one essence. And I know that in that essence, there is universal love of acceptance, great love, great understanding, and great awareness. I give thanks in knowing that Zachary has the opportunity and the wherewithal to make decisions that places him in the path of newness and the acceptance of love, and that he is sufficient. I give thanks in knowing that Zachary has moved mountains that most people haven't seen, but there's still tops to go over. Sometimes we forget when we see a situation that the person has already moved a large part of the mountain. Let's think of the mountain of 100%. There's a mountain here, maybe several, and we've moved to 80%. So there's only a bit of that mountain that is there. And it's about the willingness to recognize personal power, personal love, personal enlightenment that we have within our heart, and our knowingness that all is well. It's funny, we're coming into December, and this is a little off topic, but it's not totally. Over the years, I've written Christmas stories, because I used to do a lot of, I guess you could say, speaking to metaphysical groups, and always created a Christmas story. And I had a desire to type up a Christmas story with fingers that didn't want to really type. But it was like the newness was coming to me. Christmas is coming. And in the Christmas story and in the Christmas energy that will soon be happening, in a couple of weeks, we'll start seeing colored lights coming up. We would start seeing and hearing carols being sung or being played or something, or nice Christmas music. What I'm getting at is that there's a choice in here, that we embrace the knowingness that every person on this planet is loved beyond measure if they let it in. Most of us get feeling sorry for ourselves because of what is happening or going on, and we forget that. It's called convenient forgetting. Even myself, sometimes I have to give myself a little shake and say, get your act together. Because love, actually, sorry, let me say that again. You are loved beyond measure. And when I have clients and we're doing energy releasing work, the idea for me is to have that instilled into their system so that it meant what happens, they're going to remember that lovingness is there always. We choose to ignore it. We choose to move away from it because we let our fear, our anxieties, and I'm going to put the word negative thinking in there, which is governed by the fear of anxieties, but we choose that when we could be choosing to know that we're loved no matter what, and that we have the opportunity that everything is possible. Everything is possible. So I'm going to move into treatment. I know there is one power and there's one essence as I speak my word for Zachary, Karen Lee's son. I know the power of love. I've seen it in action. I've felt it for myself. I've been with it. I've contributed to it. And I love the feeling of it. I give thanks in knowing that Zachary just has to reach out inside of himself into, and I want to use some colors here, into a violet color, into an aqua color, like a turquoise, but more aqua. And just think on those colors of what they say and resonate to the internal. I don't know why I get that, but I do. That Zachary and color are very interconnected. And I would suggest that he looks at colors that light up that inner light. And I know his guides, his helpers, his spiritual teachers are all there cheering him on because he has phenomenal possibility. Very often we go through tremendous challenges because we have the most possibility. And those challenges get met, whether they're met when you're young, when you're 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, or 80s like me. We're still often challenged because love is so complete. And it's almost like an opposition that lives on this planet that doesn't want us to feel that love, that doesn't want us to accept it, doesn't want for us to know we are one with it. And it's like sneaky snakes. And it's by surrounding yourself with things that have you feel loved, that you know your possibility, and that you're strong and you have the strength to basically say the old saying, get behind me. Nothing to do with me. I am in light. I am loved without measure. And I choose to be this way. I give thanks that Zachary has a choice, actually, to know that everything is possible for him and that he can choose love and the beauty of love and the direction of love to be all that he can be with ease and with grace. I give thanks as I release this thought, knowing it is true and it is done, that Zachary's help is right there. And so it is. Amen. Okay, time for another drink of water. Just a sec. I just want to make sure I don't miss my little pieces here. Okay, yeah, I caught up. Thanks. Hope that was helpful, Karen Lee. Karen Mako says, thank you. All very accurate, as you always say. CJ, hi, Norma. Hope you are doing well. I am looking for numbers 3, 7, and 22. CJ. Whatever you see, please. Okay, well, what I see again is this love number coming up. Oh, I like that. And but also changing direction. Number 7 is always about leaving the past, moving forward with strength, confidence, and awareness of what you have learned to date. And 22 is about faith. And I'm going to talk about that at this moment. I think sometimes I'm just channeling this a bit, so it's this is might sound I might have to do some abbreviation in here. I think sometimes when we move forward, because 22 in the tarot higher arcana is the Fool, and the Fool steps over the cliff. Now, the interesting thing, and it brings my attention when I think about the symbol for you, is that there's a stick, and it's so-called his karma is attached to the stick. His little dog with him, his headdress has got a red feather. He's got a lot of things, a lot of learning, a lot of awareness of where he's heading. And what I see here is that you understand with the number 3, the love force that's there, but there's some things here that are needing to be left behind. Sometimes those are people, sometimes those are ideas and concepts. I find a lot in the work that I do very often, my ideas and concepts are quite different than some of the clients that come in that have had a rigid set of how things are supposed to be. And the moving forward, now the Fool to me is always you complete your emotion, the motion in life with faith. It has a lot to do with faith, because who's going to walk off the side of a mountain if you don't have faith? Couldn't have started the businesses I started. I couldn't have done a lot of different things if I didn't have faith. I couldn't have moved from New Zealand to Canada, or from the coast to Penticton in the Okanagan here if I didn't have faith. Following what I felt was correct for me at the time. I'm going to do a treatment here, CJ, on strengthening your belief in yourself. Okay? Just making a note for that in case I get sidetracked, because that can happen. I know there is one power, and I know there is one essence in all things, and I therefore speak my word into the energy of love, so that CJ can take that love on the journey that she has begun this journey. But as she moves forward in it, and as she moves forward in it, that love moves into an element of faith beyond measure. This is where the real magic happens. This is where tremendous shifts change happen, and they are assimilated easily. Because when you believe in yourself, when you believe in what I call the love source, if you want to call it God or anything else, that's fine. But when you understand that love permeates everything, and sometimes our mental mind, I'm just saying that because I'm talking to myself a little bit, our mental mind gets us caught up into our fears or our concerns and our worries. But for you, I just see that you're really ready to believe in yourself, to move forward with faith. And so it's like talking about Christmas, like it's like everything falling into place for you. Be open. And it's like I said, I wondered why I was talking about this. Be open to newness. Miracles are offered every day. We just need to accept them. And that applies to you in particular. Opportunity comes. Do we take it? Do we believe? Do we trust? Follow love. Follow the love. Does it feel right in your heart? Does it feel this is something you could do? Is this something you want? All these things that you ask the question, the heart will tell you. I give thanks in knowing that CJ is moving forward, becoming more and more complete in who she is, who they are. I don't know. I'm presuming it's a woman, but it may not be. We move forward into life and the knowingness of all that there is. I give thanks by saying, and so it is. Amen. Okay, Karen says, thank you so much for an enlightening message. Bless you. Charlie said, Chaley says, hello. Caleb says, hello, how are you, Norma? Cowie, well, if you've been listening, I would have told you that it's in some ways a very interesting day. Karen Lee, thank you, Norma. You are the best. How wonderful. I do like the comments, I must say. CJ, I'm very much trying to move forward this month. Thank you. I absolutely need the strength for myself. This is exactly what I am trying to do right now. It's time again. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. CJ, you're well on your way. I'm going to go back to what I was talking about earlier. We create programs as we grow along in life. We create programs that we believe is correct. We pick them up as children from parents, teachers, friends, whatever. We act them out, and then we kind of not sure if they belong or don't belong. And then some are from our previous lives, and they get triggered. Now, why are we on the reincarnation road? Is because we haven't completed, or we haven't finished, or we haven't done whatever it was in other lifetimes. But as I have worked very closely at times with the subconscious mind, I found beliefs that were created like thousands of years ago, stuck in there. So when you try to change it, sometimes that belief system doesn't come in. My guides not too long ago actually showed me how I could pull that programming to set people free. But what I've discovered that you've got to be ready for that, because a couple of people that I kind of freed them up from that got a little lost and kind of wasn't too sure who they were. And that's not good. So I'm a little bit more careful. I was so excited because when I started doing it with myself and pulling out the programming that was blocking things, old programming. But we've got to also be realistic that we still have to live in this life and mold it, you might say, in the very, very direction we want it to go in. It's where I take my inspiration from the tarot. I've been working with it for pretty well 60 years now, philosophically. It has never led me astray. Oh, I've led myself astray, yes, but not the tarot, not the information it gives me, not the awareness of what is and where it's going. That's why I'm trying, in my own way, to teach people how much the philosophy is really, really important of where it's heading and where it's going. It'll be interesting this coming Wednesday because I'm looking at 7, 8, and 9 tarot symbols of the lower arcana and the higher arcana. And of course, that's kind of at the end of things to a large degree. So it brings quite a lot of different flavor to learning what's going on there. Life isn't all about, oh, it's wonderful, it's great, we achieve these things and we're happy, or, we've healed ourselves, etc. It's also about us understanding how the universal love force works, that it is there for us to utilize, to be part of, to allow ourselves to grow. Wow. Chaley, I think that's your name. May I please have a message? And she's got 3 5s. Yeah, I was just like kind of talking away. I think I'm 3 5s. Okay, 5s is when the mind's going in all sorts of different directions to a large degree, needing more information, more awareness, more help, more understanding. So let's see what I come up with I kind of want to put the brakes on, Jaylee. Put the brakes on and just kind of take a stop and look at where you actually are and where you're heading. Where you're heading, what you're wanting to do, where you're wanting to go. 5 is expression and can go in 30,000 different ways. But it's also in the tarot, number 5 is the Hierophant. Hierophant is the teacher. So there is a needing of teaching. When you have a lot of energy, 5 is like my fingers going in 5 different directions. It needs to be schooled. It needs to understand, like You know, I studied for years with different teachers at different times, learning different things. Some were long, some were short, adding to the knowledge and the awareness of where, what, when, and how. And when you're looking at all these fives, it's very diverse because it's like my fingers on my hand going in 5 different directions. So a lot of that is to really put it into a perspective. So let's do a treatment and just see what comes up, okay? I know there is one power and one essence, and I know as I speak my words for Shaylee, as she moves ahead, that some decisions are going to need to be made as to how she wants to represent herself or himself, sorry, I think it's a she, into the life. How that is going to work with the desires, the goals, and the wanting that I sense here. What is the main priority? Which direction are you heading in? Are you putting a lot of energy into something that isn't working? And this is where I'm just sensing that it is really important to bring back into the mainlined. And one thing I've sort of come up a lot tonight, which we find patterns often arise, is that you are loved beyond measure. And the love force is always there to aid and help if you open up to it. But if you let the mental mind rule, the love force can't work. It's letting the mental work and rule because you think. I know it says you think and therefore I am. You think, but you allow the force to speak to you through your heart, to your awareness, to your knowingness. My suggestion, and it is a suggestion, is that you take a breath and you take a look at really where you are in relation to your life. I have no idea of your age, but it's to like, where do you want to go? Because you need to decide. You can't be strung out all over the world unless that's the design and that's what you want. And even then, you've got to be strong on the inside to be able to do that. Knowing that you are loved beyond measure, knowing that you have the information you require and need will help. And at the same time, as you release and let go, and sort of come into yourself, I know all will be well. I give thanks for this as I release this thought, knowing for Shaylee that it will work and be great. Thank you. She says, I love learning. That makes sense. I also have my North Node in Gemini. Yeah, that's just information that you can use to go with where you want to go. I have a Gemini rising. I understand that. And it's like we need to move beyond all the fives and the Gemini and this and that. We really need to move beyond it and know that how we recommend in our no, that's not the right word. How we result in our lives is so important. But thank you for coming and thank you for writing. Now, Karen Lee says, hi, Norma, if possible. Of course, it's possible for you, my dear. Have a treatment for your daughter, Rachel. And hopefully this is the last one. Makes me feel so much better when I'm working, though, believe me. And to find a job. Okay. The numbers are 12, 17, and 22. Well, you know, I like 22 because it's moving forward in faith. But let's see. Rachel. Okay, this is going to make sound weird because it's not about a job. The acceptance of self and the different components of self, because that's one of the things that have been coming up tonight, is that you might think you want A, but inside you're wanting B or maybe even C. And it's about balancing. First of all, it's about acceptance. 12 is acceptance. So the first thing to do is accept what it is you really want to do, not what you think you want to do or society says you should do. And then utilize the knowledge and the awareness that you have to do it using your faith, not only in yourself, but in what we call the love source, so that you can move forward and go in the direction that you want to. This is absolutely, she wants to find a job. She's got to look at what she really, really wants to do. And just, it's not about a job. What does she want to do with her life? What does she want to become? And the faith within herself, knowing that the love source absolutely has her back, and she accepts that, it will come clear as day. Okay, treatment says, I know there's one power and one essence, and I know that Rachel knows within the deepness of her heart what she wants to do. And from my perspective, can bring that forward to balance it into her life with faith, love, harmony, peace, so that she can see. I noticed that my head didn't come up. Now I can get my head up and I can see. She needs vision. My glasses gives me vision, so I can see who writes what on here, etc. And I did something. There we go. And I know that when she finds that inner beingness for her, her job will click like that, because she'll attract it to her. Because 22 is faith. Got to have faith in herself, and that the universe, I'm going to read that saying again, be open to newness. Miracles are offered every day. We just need to accept them. That's what I got when I sat down here and I pulled the 4 cups. That's what I thought. Miracles are offered every day. We just need to accept them. And that's what the story today has been. I really want to thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this, please give the thumbs up. And I see that you have. If you haven't subscribed, please come subscribe. I would appreciate that. I will be back Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock, which isn't that far away. And we're going to talk about these tarot card numbers. 7, 8, 9. And let's see, what else have I got to say? I don't know. I'll be back for Sunday too. So I'm going to think about my Christmas story this time, because I've had a Christmas story that I've said for a long time. So I'm going to create a new one. As soon as my fingers type good, that's what we'll do. Wishing you well, lots of love. Just enjoy life. It's, Christmas is coming. The weather's yucky, but whatever. We're here. And we are loved beyond measure. Night now.